Hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another step-by-step tutorial, and this tutorial is a variation of the previous sweater that I did with a knit stitch with a waistcoat stitch. So this is a variation of that sweater. The only thing that I did is that I inserted the pattern of the stripes here. The stripes are so elegant and so in right now. The only thing that I did different is that I did not use only the blue and black stripes, but I thought, let me just insert some color over here, and I made this sweater with red stripes since it's the color of this winter. So I really hope you enjoy this tutorial. Also, this sweater comes in M size. The tutorial is in S. You can find also the calculations for M size on my website. I will leave for you all the links to the materials that I have used in the description box down below, and also I will leave you also the link of the written pattern so you can print it and you can use the quantity of stitches for each row. Yeah guys, I really am excited to show you this pattern, and without further ado, let's just get into it. For this project I'm going to use 100% acrylic and 50 grams, 150 meters long. I got this on Amazon, and I got it on white, which is going to be the main color, and on red, which is going to be the stripe color. For this project you can use any kind of DK yarn, and you can go even with a thicker yarn. For this project I'm also going to use an 8mm hook for the bodice and the sleeves, and then for the ribbings I'm going to use a 5.5mm hook. First we are going to start with the bodice, and I'm going to start with the white color. I'm going to start crocheting 92 chain stitches for the size S. Once I finish 92 chain stitches, I'm going to connect the last stitch with the first one. Just be careful to not twist it. So I'm going to slowly find the first chain stitch. And here it is. So I'm going to now crochet here at the first chain stitch, one single crochet. So this is my first chain stitch. So I'm going to insert the hook and one single crochet. This is the first stitch of the round because we are going to work in rounds. I'm going to put a marker for that. And now the first round, it is one single crochet on each chain stitch, and in total we're going to have 92 single crochet stitches. Okay, you guys, so here it is. I did finish the first round, 92 single crochet stitches. So your work is going to look like this. Now we are going to start working with waistcoat stitch. Probably many of you already know how the waistcoat stitch is done because I have been using this stitch for other projects as well. But in case you are not familiar with that, let me show you how the waistcoat stitch is done. So for the second round, I'm going to crochet one waistcoat stitch on each stitch. So in total, I'm going to have 92 waistcoat stitches. So if you are not familiar with the waistcoat stitch, we are going to, for the waistcoat stitch, we are not going to insert the hook and grabbing these two legs on top of the stitch, but actually we are going to insert the hook and in the middle of this V over here. So we are going to insert the hook here in between the V, back, in the back like this, and we are going to yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through. So it's going to look like a knit stitch. So one more time, let's do it together. So this is the first stitch of the round, so I'm going to keep there a marker. So one more time, I am going to find that V of the stitch, which is this one here. and insert the hook right in the center of that V. This is how it's going to look in the back. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So this is the waistcoat stitch, which is like a knit stitch. So I'm going to continue crocheting knit stitches for the second round, in total 92 for the S size. And I'm going to do the same for the third round. So the second and the third round are going to be a round with 92 waistcoat stitches each. Okay guys, so here we are. I finished the third round. At the third round I didn't finish the last stitch because I do want to show you how to change the color. For the fourth round we are going to start the stripe, and we are going to start with the second color, with the red one. So to introduce the second color in a very nice way, we are actually going to do like this. At the last stitch we're going to again insert the hook like here in the center, as we will do for a waistcoat stitch at the last stitch. So I will pull through, but I'm not going to yarn over with white color and pull through as I would do to finish the stitch. I am going to leave the white, pick up the red, and I will leave some end so it will not escape the yarn. So I will be very generous with the end. And actually I'm going to yarn over for the red color and pull through. So in the meantime I pull a little bit the white one, and also I keep the red with the finger so it will not escape. Okay, so I will just keep the red with the fingers, and I'm now leaving the white yarn. So now I'm going to start. So if you can see here, we did the transition without having a disconnection between the two colors. So now we are going to start the round, the fourth round. For the fourth round, again, we are going to work 92 stitches. We are not going to do any increases or decreases with the waistcoat stitch, but now we are using the red color. So I'm gonna take out the marker over here, and I'm going to insert the hook at the first stitch in the center, and I'm going to do the first waistcoat stitch. I can put or I cannot put, the marker is the same because we can notice where we change the color, so we know that that is the first round. So we are working in spirals, which means that when we finish the round, we are actually going to be one stitch higher over here. But anyway, I'm going to explain to you at the end. So we are just going to crochet the fourth round with waistcoat stitch, but with a red color. In total 92 stitches. Okay, so here we are, and this is the first round with the stripe color, with a red color. So once I finish, so this is also my fourth round. So I'm going to continue the fifth, sixth, and seventh round with red color. So I'm gonna have the stripes always with 4 rounds. Okay, so I finished the fourth one, so this is the fourth round. I'm going to continue the fifth, sixth, and seventh with the red, and I will meet you at the end of round 7. Okay, you guys, so here it is. I did finish the 8th round, which is the 4th round with the red color. The last one, the last stitch, I didn't crochet because we are just going to do the same thing that we did here with the white, because we are changing the color for the 9th round to white. So I am going to insert the hook at the last stitch, yarn over and pull through with the red yarn, but I am going to leave the red yarn, and I am going to pick the white from behind, from the inside, like this. So the yarn is going to be like this. So do not pull too hard, just leave it freely. And I am going to yarn over and pull through the 2 loops with the white yarn. So like this, I did a flawless transition. And yeah, I am going now to continue the 9th round with the white color. So from the 9th until the 16th round, we are going to work with the white color. So now on top of these 4 rounds with red color, we're going to work 8 rounds with the white color. So from round 9 until round 16, we're going to continue with the white color. In total for each round, again, 92 stitches for size S. Okay, you guys, so here we are. I finished the 15th round. So I do want to make some corrections here because I gave you the wrong quantity of rows. We did 3 rounds with the white yarn. Then we have 4 rounds with the red yarn, which in total is 7 rounds and not 8. So from the 8th round until the 15th round, we did 8 rounds with the white one. So we have 3 white, 4 red and 8 white. So in total there are 15 rounds. Okay, so now another thing is that this is the stitch, the first stitch of the round, but I did not do until the end, and that is because this kind of stitch, when you work, the stitches tends to go this way. So if I put this straight and I come here, that means that actually this division here, this overlapping over here, actually comes 1 stitch before. And because I want to leave this on the side of the arm, so I don't want to continue having this and then it will show in the back or in the front of the sweater. So I do want to keep this overlapping straight. So I am going to change the color actually 1 stitch before the starting of the round. I don't know, maybe for some of you it doesn't make sense, but once we have finished all the panel, I will explain one more time. So that's why I am going to start now to do this pattern from here until here. So 4 rounds with red and 8 rounds with white. I'm going to repeat one more time. The only thing is that now I am changing to red, but I'm going to change 1 stitch before. So I am going to start actually from 2 stitches before the marker. So 2 stitches before the marker. So I'm going to do this white, of course, but I'm going to change the yarn same as we did here when we change the color. So now I'm going to continue round 16, and round 16 until round 19, there are going to be 4 rounds with the red color. So I'm going to insert the hook at the next stitch, pull through, and I'm going to leave the white and I'm going to pick the red color now. Do not pull too tight because we need some space here, some yarn there. So as you can see, there is still 1 more stitch that it has to be done to finish the round, but that's okay. I'm gonna do that with the red color. And now I am actually finished. I actually finished the 15th round. So I'm going to start now the 16th round, and as I told you, I am going to crochet and repeat this pattern one more time. So from round 16 until round 19, 4 rounds with red. Then I'm going to change from round 20 to round 27. I'm gonna work 8 rounds with white, and then I'm going to repeat again one more time this pattern, 4 rounds with red and 8 rounds with white. So I'm going to continue from round 28 to round 31. I'm going to do 4 rounds with red And then from round 32 to round 39, I'm going to do 8 rounds with white. Okay, so let's repeat this pattern 2 more times. Together with this set over here, there are going to be 3 sets of this pattern. Okay, you guys, so here we are. I did finish repeating the pattern 2 more times. So this we did together. So I repeated 1 and this is the second one. So I have finished round 39. If you see here, I am like 1, 2, 3, 4. I am 4 stitches ahead before I finish actually the round, because you can see that this kind of stitch tends to go sideways. So I am going to now change the color for the coming round, but I am going to not finish the round, the 39th round. And if you see here, I always, every time I changed into the red color, I always went 1 stitch further, 1 stitch before, because if I continued like that, I was going to have this line over here, so you would see that this would be not straight, and I need this on the side. So if I would leave it like that, then yeah, it's not gonna be nice, pretty. So this is going to be on the side. So yeah, I left 4 stitches here before changing the color, and I have to change the color now for the 40th round, but I'm going to change it from here before the 39th round finishes. So you can do it and just leave the stitches go sideways. That's up to you, but in my case I don't want that to happen, so I'm always, when I change color, I always go 1 stitch further. That's why here I have 4 stitches left before my round. So now I'm going to start the pattern for the 40th round, and from 40 to round 43 I am going to work with a red color. Okay, so here I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 stitches left, as I told you. But the next stitch, like 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th stitch here, the next stitch that I need to work. So that means that this is going to be white again, but we're going to change the color on the top. I have 3 stitches from the 39th round actually with red color. So I have in total not 92 stitches with white, but I have in total 88 stitches. So I finish here 88, and the 89th stitch I am again doing the waistcoat stitch and pull through, but I'm not going to close with white. Instead, I'm going to close with the red color. So like the 89th stitch is white, it's just that you close with the red color to do the transition flawless. So now I am going to continue 3 more stitches of the 39th round, 3 more stitches with red. And here I am actually finished with 39th round now. So you see that I changed color over here, so it doesn't come so, it kind of comes a little bit more aligned rather than really on one side. So you can still see a little bit here that is not straight, but it's better than to have it like this. So yeah, I changed color 3 stitches before the end of round 39. So I'm going to start now round 40, and I'm just going to continue 1 red stitch on each stitch, So in total 92 stitches. I'm going to continue around 40, 41, 42 and 43 with red, and then we're going to change the color. So let's do those first rounds first with red. Okay, guys, here it is. I finished the 43rd round. I didn't finish all the stitches one by one. I am here at the 88th stitch with the red color, because at the 89th stitch I need to change the color to white. So for the 44th round, we are actually going to start the round a little bit before. We're gonna skip, we're gonna leave 3 stitches over here with another color. So what we are going to do now is for the 89th stitch, I'm going to insert the hook and pull through one loop with the red color, but I'm going to leave the white, and I'm going to yarn over and close these 2 loops with the white color. So like this, I have transitioned to the white color. So for the 43rd round, we are actually going to do 89 stitches, and we're gonna leave these 3 stitches without work, because for the 44th round, we are actually going to move the marker here. And the purpose why we are doing that is because the pattern, it will be very complicated if we continue finish the round until here. So it will not make any big changes at the piece. So that's why we are going to do the 89th stitch, and of course we are changing in white, and we are going now to move the marker 3 stitches before. So we are going to start the 44th round at the 90th stitch, we can say. Okay, so now we are going to move the marker, which is, so 1, 2, 3 stitches. So we're going to move it here. So we're going to move the marker 3 stitches ahead. This is for size S, of course. This means that now we are going to start round number 44. So for round number 44, first we are going to do a division. Where we have the first marker, this is the stitch where we are going to do the underarm increases. So now leave this stitch and count 45 stitches after this marker stitch. So once you count 45 stitches, at the 46th stitch, put another marker. So this is going to be the stitch where we're going to do the increases for the other underarm. And now if you turn your panel like this, in between this marker and this marker, you're going to have another 45 stitches in between. So divide the panel like this, 45 stitches, the marker, which is the increase stitch, then you're going to have another 45 stitches here at the back, then you're going to have the other marker here at 1 stitch. So 45 stitches in between the 2 markers. We're going to do first this division. Now we are going to start the pattern of the 44th round. So for the 44th round, we are going to do this pattern where we have the marker here. We're going to do 1 increase, which means that at the marker stitch we're gonna do 2 stitches. Of course, now we changed with white color, right? So at the 44th stitch, at the 44th round, we're going to work with white, and at the first stitch we're gonna do 1 increase. So we're gonna crochet 2 stitches, 2 waistcoat stitches in 1 stitch, and I'm going to put the marker at the first stitch here that we increased. Then I'm going to work 45 stitches until the other marker over here. Okay, here we are. I finished so the 1 increase, then 45 stitches, and now here at the marker stitch I'm going to do another increase. So this is the underarm increase for the other arm. So I'm gonna, for the other sleeve, so I'm gonna do 2 stitches in 1 stitch. I'm going to put back the marker at the first stitch that we increased over here. So we have 2, but I'm going to put the marker at the first one. And then now I'm left with another 45 stitches until here at the other marker. So we are going to crochet another 45 stitches. In total, the 44th round is going to have 94 stitches because we increased 1 stitch on both sides. So let's continue another 45 stitches to the end of the round. Okay, here we are. So I finished the 44th round, as I told you, and now I'm going to start the 45th round. So from 44 until 50th round, we are going to increase. So we increased 1 stitch on both sides for the 44th round. That's the same what we are going to do for the 45th round. So the pattern for the 45th round is going to be 1 increase here at the marker, then we're going to have 46 stitches at the back, then 1 increase here at the other marker, and then 46 stitches at the front. So in total for the 46th round, we're going to have 96 stitches. And for the 46th round, we're gonna continue the same. We're gonna do 1 increase on both sides. So we're gonna do 1 increase, then we're gonna have 47 stitches in the back, then another increase, and then 47 stitches in the front. And in total, for the 46th round, we're gonna have 98 stitches. For the 47th round, we're gonna do 1 increase on both sides, and then we're gonna have front and back. For each, we're gonna have 48 stitches in the back, 48 stitches in the front. In total, we're gonna have 100 stitches. For the 48th round, again, we're gonna increase and we're gonna have 49 stitches in the back and 49 stitches in the front. In total, we're gonna have 102 stitches. For the 49th round, we're gonna have, again, increases over here and then 50 stitches in the back, 50 stitches in the front, and in total we're gonna have 104 stitches. And then for the 50th and the last round of the size S, we're gonna do again increases on both sides, and we're gonna have 51 stitches in the back, 51 stitches in the front, and in total we're gonna have 106 stitches worked all around. So I'm going to continue crocheting the 45th round now, and I'm going to do increases, and I'm going to continue to do that until the 50th round, and I will meet you at the 50th round, which we are going to end with 106 stitches in total. Okay, you guys, so here we are. I finished 50 rounds. I finished the 7 rounds with white color and increases. And as you know, one full set is 4 red rounds and 8 white rounds. But in our case, the last set is 4 red rounds and 7 white rounds. But it's okay. We will do the 8th one when we connect all the panels together. So now I am going to leave my bodice pattern. The bodice pattern is finished, and I am going to start the pattern for the sleeves. So the pattern for the sleeves, it is going to start, first we're going to start with 26 chain stitches, and I'm going to start with the main color in white in my case. Now I am going to connect the first one with the last one, making sure that it will not be like twisted. So I'm going to, flat. I'm going to turn. This is the front. So I'm going to insert the hook at the first chain stitch, and I'm going to do 1 single crochet. And this is the first stitch, so I'm going to put a marker. I'm going to continue crocheting all the rest of the stitches, in my case another 25, because I already did one here, with single crochet. So the first round is for the S size 26 single crochet stitches. Okay, here we are. I finished the first round, in total 26 single crochets, and now I'm going to start the second round. In the second round, I'm going to work with a waistcoat stitch, same as I worked the bodice, so the same stitch. So the second and the third round are going to be with the same quantity of stitches, so I'm going to work 26 stitches for the second and for the third round. So I will meet you at the end of the third round. Okay, so here we are. I finished 3 rounds. So 1 round with single crochet and 2 rounds with waistcoat stitch. At the third round, I did not finish the last stitch because the fourth round is going to be red. So I am going to show you how we are going to transition from one color to another one. And this, we are always going to do it 1 stitch before the round starts. So we are going to have a more flawless transition. So I am going to insert the hook, pull through with the white color, and then I'm going to leave the white and I'm going to pick the red. I'm going to leave a long tail and yarn over and pull through, the same as we did with the bodice. So now I am ready to start the fourth round, which is going to start where I have the marker. And for the fourth round, again, I'm going to work with waistcoat stitch, 26 stitches. And here it is, I finished the fourth round. For the fifth round, we are going to do 1 increase. So at the first stitch, we are going to increase. I'm going to crochet 2 stitches at the first stitch. So the pattern for the fifth round, it is going to be 1 increase at the first stitch. I'll put back the marker at the first stitch that we crocheted for this round. Then I'm gonna have another 25 stitches to finish the round. In total for the fifth round, since we increased 1 stitch, we're gonna have 27 stitches at the end of the fifth round. So here we finished the pattern for the fifth round, and I'm going to continue now again with the red color, another 2 rounds, which is round number 6 and round number 7, and I'm not going to do any increase, so I'm going to continue for round 6 and round 7 with 27 stitches each, and then I'm going to meet you at the end of round 7. Okay, so here we are. I finished the 7th round, and I am going to start the 8th round. For the 8th round, I'm going to change color in white, but before I start the 8th round, because I'm changing color, I am going to crochet the last stitch. I'm going to insert the hook and pull through a loop with the red, but then I'm going to finish the last stitch of the 7th round with white. And now I can start. The next stitch is the 8th round. For the 8th round, again, I'm not going to do any increase. I'm just going to crochet 27 stitches all around with the white color. And here it is, I finished the 8th round, and for the 9th round we're going to do one increase, which means that at the first stitch I'm going to crochet 2 waistcoat stitches. I'm going to put a marker here, so then I know that where I did the increases, and then I'm going to continue crocheting another 26 stitches together with these 2 stitches. The 9th round is going to have in total 28 stitches. Okay, so here we are. This was the pattern for the 9th round. I finished, and now for the 10th, 11th, and 12th, these 3 rounds, I'm not going to do any increases. I'm just going to crochet 28 waistcoat stitches for the next 3 rounds all around with a white color. So I'm going to meet you at the end of round 12. Okay, here we are. I finished the 12th round, and now I'm going to start the 13th round. For the 13th round, we're going to do one increase with the same white color. So I'm going to do here one increase at the first stitch, and I'm going to put a marker, so then I know that I have an increase over here and I don't need to count one by one later on. So now the pattern for the 13th round is one increase and then 27 waistcoat stitches until the end. In total, we're going to have 29 stitches. Now, once the 13th round with the increase is done, I'm going to continue another 2 rounds with the white color, and this is going to be the 14th and the 15th round where I'm not going to do any increase. So I'm going to continue crocheting 29 stitches per round. So I will see you at the end of round 15. And here we are. I finished the 15th round, but I did not finish the last stitch of the 15th round because the 16th round we are going to crochet with the red color. So that's why the last stitch of the 15th round I'm going to close with the red color. And now I am ready to start the 16th round, and the 16th round is no increases, only 29 waistcoat stitches with the red color. So now we are going to start the 17th round. So for the 17th round, we're going to do one increase with the red color. So we're going to crochet 2 stitches, put a marker. So once I did the first increase, then I am left with 28 stitches. In total, there are going to be 30 stitches for the 17th round. So for the rest, the 18th and 19th round, we're not going to do any increase, so we're going to continue crocheting 2 more rounds, 18 and 19, with 30 stitches each. So I will meet you at the end of round 19. And here we are. I finished the 18th and 19th round. So together with the other 2 is there are 4 rounds with red color, and now I'm going to change to white. So this is the pattern of the stripes, 4 red, 8 white, and this is the pattern that I'm going to continue. So I did 4 red, but I am not going, so here this is the first stitch. So I need to do the last one in red, but I am going to close with white color as we always do to change the color. So here is the last stitch of the 19th round. Now I'm going to start the 20th round, and the 20th round, it is going to be again no increases but with a white color. So in total I'm going to crochet again 30 stitches. So once I finish the 20th round, I'm going to start the 21st round, and on the 21st round we're going to work again with white color, but we're going to do one increase. So I'm going to do one increase at the first stitch of the round, put a marker at the increase, and then I'm going to do another 29 stitches all around. So in total for the 21st round I'm going to have 31 stitches. Okay, and here it is. I finished the 21st round, and now I'm going to continue for 22nd, 23rd and 24th round without increases. So I'm going to continue 22nd to 24th round, another 3 rounds with a white color without increasing, and each round it's going to have 31 stitches. Okay, you guys, so here it is. I finished round 22, 23 and 24. So as you can understand now, I am just going to repeat the stripe pattern, which is 4 red and 8 white. So I'm just going to repeat again 4 red and 8 round whites, and so on. I am going to continue the pattern until I have in total 50 rounds. So until now I have 24, I finished 24. So I'm going to continue the pattern that I increase every 4 rounds. You have seen that here I did the increase, and then 1 round with increase, and then 3 rounds without increase. So 1 round with increase, and then 3 rounds without increase. So we have 2 patterns that we alternate here. So the pattern of the counting of the stitches, where I increase 1 round and 3 rounds I don't increase. And then we have also the alternation of the pattern for the stripes, right? So 4 red and 8 white. So I'm going to leave for you the rest of the pattern, so you can just stop the screen and follow that pattern until you have in total 50 rounds. I'm going to do that because you already know now how the pattern works and how to change the color. Okay, so for each round that is red, I'm gonna write it in red, and each round that is in white, I'm gonna write it in white. And I will meet you at the end of the sleeve, where we have in total 50 rounds. Okay, you guys, here we are. So I finished all the 50 rounds with the pattern that I gave you. So this is how the sleeve looks like at the moment. And of course you're gonna have to do 2 of them, and I did another one in advance. So now we have all the panels together, so we are going to place them in the following position. So first of all, we are going to cut the yarn. I'm gonna leave some white yarn because I'm gonna do some sewing. So we cut the yarn of the sleeves. I'm gonna also leave an end, and I'm gonna wave this end in later on. Okay, so now we are going to position them like this. So I'm gonna have all the increases at the armpit, the same on the other sleeve, and here I'm gonna place the bodice. Okay, so this is how we are going to position, and as you know, I did not cut the yarn here at the bodice because I'm going to use that to do all the connections one by one. So before I start crocheting the yoke, I need actually to do some sewing. First, I'm going to move the marker from here 1 stitch further for this side. And I am going to sew the middle stitch where I moved the marker 1 stitch before. So I'm going to sew this stitch, the middle stitch, and both stitches on the side. So 3 stitches. I'm going to sew with 3 stitches of the sleeve. So I'm going to take the yarn that I left here, and with a tapestry needle I am going to sew. So I'm going to, this is this stitch here, so I'm going to sew the next stitch. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. So these 3 stitches I'm going to sew with the 3 stitches over here. So the first stitch, it corresponds to 1 stitch before the marker. Okay, so now I am going to count 50 stitches from the first stitch over here. So this is the stitch, the first stitch that I saw from the bodice. So I will not count this one, but I will start with the next stitch. So I will count 50 stitches. So here, exactly where is my last stitch is my number 50. So these 50 stitches from the first stitch over here until here, these are going to be in the front or in the back panel. So these are stitches that are going to be in between the 2 sewn sleeves. So now, right exactly after the next one, from the stitch that I have, I'm going to sew these 3 stitches from the bodice with the 3 stitches from the sleeve. Again, I'm going to sew 3 stitches where I did the increases. Okay, so this was the next step. So probably, as you have understood, we had for the bodice we had in total 106 stitches. So I sew 3 stitches with the sleeve, and then the other side 3 stitches with the sleeve. So then I was left with 100 stitches, which I divided between the 2 sleeves, front and back panel. So you're gonna have 50 stitches on this side, 50 stitches on this side, and then 3 stitches sewn with one sleeve, and then 3 stitches sewn with the other sleeve. As for the amount of stitches for the sleeves, as you know, for the size S we ended up with 38 stitches in total. I sew 3 stitches with the bodice, so I'm left with 35 stitches for each sleeve on the side. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to continue now working one round, connecting all the panels, all the sides together. So the counting for this, it is going to be, I am going to start here from the sleeve, and I have 35 stitches to do over here. Then I am going to jump to the panel of the bodice, which are 50 stitches to do over here. Once I do 50 stitches here, I'm going to jump again on the sleeve. I'm going to go around with a waistcoat stitch, another 35 stitches over here. Then I'm going to jump to the bodice part and another 50 stitches over here. So in total, I'm going to crochet 170 stitches with a waistcoat stitch, and of course with a white color. So we are jumping now to the sleeve stitch. Okay, so this is the stitch that these are stitches sewn together. So the next stitch is this one here. Insert the hook and waistcoat stitch. I'm going to put a marker. So then I know that this is the first stitch of the sleeve. And now I'm going to continue another 34, together with this 35 stitches for the first sleeve. And here it is. I finished 35 stitches for the sleeve. Now I'm jumping to the bodice, and in the for the bodice panel in one side I have 50 stitches. So I'm gonna find this next stitch for the bodice is here. Again, one waistcoat stitch, and I'm going to put a marker again over here, but in a different color, because I want to know that here is the beginning of the round. So this is the first stitch for the bodice over here, and I'm going to continue crocheting another 49 until the end. And here it is. I finished the 50 stitches over here, and now I'm going to jump to the next sleeve. And to the next sleeve again, I'm gonna crochet with a waistcoat stitch 35 stitches over here for the size S, and I'm going to put the marker with the same color as the other one because I want to know where the sleeve starts, the stitches for the sleeve start. So I'm going to continue now crocheting for the other sleeve 35 stitches, and then I'm going to jump to the last panel, the last side, which is the bodice, and is again 50 stitches until the end. So I'm going to put another marker over here when I start the bodice, the first stitch of the bodice for the other side. So yeah, let's continue crocheting until I have in total 170 stitches. Okay, you guys, so here we are. I finished the first round of the yoke. So that was 170 stitches in total. And this was also the 8th round. If we count, we have 8 round with the white color. So I am going to start now the second round of the yoke. But the second round of the yoke, we are going to start and do decreases. In the same time, we are also going to change the color. So this was my last stitch with white. So what I'm going to do, the last one, I am actually going to close with the red color. So I'm going to pull out the last 2 loops, and actually I'm going to pick the red over here, and I'm going to yarn over and close the last stitch of the first round with the red color. So now I am going to work with red, and I'm going to leave the white. I am going to follow this pattern for the second round. I am going to start crocheting 34 stitches for the sleeve. Then the last stitch I am going to decrease with the first stitch of the bodice panel. So let's crochet 34 stitches for the sleeve with a red color. Now here it is. I finished 34 stitches for the sleeve, and I have 1 stitch left, and I'm going to decrease. So I'm going to crochet the last stitch of the sleeve with the first stitch of the bodice, and I'm going to just crochet 1 stitch. So insert the hook at the last stitch, pull through of the sleeve, and insert the hook again at the first stitch of the bodice panel and pull through. We have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through. This we are going to call it a center stitch because we are going to do more decreases on the coming rounds. So this is the center stitch. And then I am going to continue now the bodice with the red. So I have 50 stitches over here. I already crocheted 1 over here, and I am going to continue crocheting another 48, and the last stitch we are going to do a decrease. So let's crochet now 48 stitches for the bodice. Okay, here it is. I finished 48 stitches, and the last stitch of the bodice panel, of course, I'm going to decrease together with the first stitch of the sleeve panel. So I will take out the marker and I will insert the hook at the last stitch, pull through, and insert the hook again on the first stitch of the sleeve panel, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 3 loops, and this is going to be another center stitch. So now the pattern, it is just going to follow same as the previous one, the previous 2 panels that we did. So I'm going to crochet another 33 stitches over here, and then the last stitch I'm going to decrease together with the stitch of the bodice panel. And then here I'm going to start crocheting another 48 stitches. So in total, at the end, you're gonna have 166 stitches. Okay, you guys, so here we are. I finished the second round and the first round with the red color, but this is actually the second round of the yoke, and this is how it looks like. Now I'm going to tell you the pattern for the third round. For the third round, we're going to continue with the red color because we have the stripe with 4 rounds of red. So for the third round, as you can see here, I did not finish the last stitch of the bodice panel because the third round we are actually going to start it with a decrease. And the decrease over here is going to be the decrease of these 2 stitches. So we are going to decrease 1 stitch between the last stitch of the bodice, which is with white here, and the first stitch of the sleeve. So this is how the pattern starts with 1 decrease. And I am going to take out the marker now, and I'm going to again insert the hook at the last bodice sleeve stitch and insert the hook again at the first stitch of the sleeve, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops. So here is my first decrease, and this stitch is for the third round. Okay, so now the pattern, it is going to follow like this. I'm going to continue with 32 stitches, and I'm going to end up 1 stitch before the marker, and here we're going to do another increase. So the pattern continues with 32 stitches for the sleeve on the sleeve panel. This is for the S size. Okay, here we are. So I finished 32 stitches for the sleeve, and I am actually 1 stitch before the marker. So now I'm going to do 2 decreases, which means that the marker stitch is the center stitch, we call it now. So I'm going to decrease and I'm going to work 1, 2, 3 stitches. So the last stitch of the sleeve, the center stitch, and the first stitch of the bodice panel, I'm going to work all these 3 of them in 1 stitch. So I'm going to insert the hook at the last stitch of the sleeve panel, yarn over and pull through. I'm going to take out the marker, and I'm going to insert the hook right here in the center of the stitch of the center stitch. Insert the hook, yarn over and pull through. Then I'm going to insert the hook on the first stitch of the bodice panel, yarn over, pull through. I'm going to have 4 loops, yarn over and pull through all these 4 loops, and I am going to put the marker. This is the decrease that I did of 2 stitches, and this is going to be my center stitch now for the coming decreases. Okay, so this is how we decrease with 2 stitches. So now the pattern it is going to continue on the bodice panel, which is 46 stitches. So I'm going to do 46 stitches over here, and then here I'm going to end up 1 stitch before the marker, the center stitch. So again, I'm going to decrease with 2 stitches. So I'm going to do a decrease the same as I did it over here. So I'm going to insert the hook on 3 stitches, and I'm gonna do the last stitch, and that is going to be center stitch. Okay, so I'm going to decrease with 2 stitches, then I'm going to continue with 31 stitches here at this other sleeve. Then again, I'm going to decrease with 2 stitches over here. So it means that I'm going to insert the hook at 1 stitch before the marker, at the marker, and which is the center stitch, and 1 stitch behind the marker, and crochet 1 stitch over here. And then again at the other side of the bodice, I'm gonna have another 46 stitches. So this is the pattern that we are going to continue: 46, 2 decrease, 31 stitches, 2 decrease, and 46 stitches. Then we are we will finish up the third round of the yoke. And here is the end of round 3. So I am going to start now the pattern for the 4th round again with the red color. So to start the pattern of the 4th round, we are again going to start with a decrease. So if you see over here, I have the center stitch and I have one stitch before the center stitch, which is a stitch of the bodice. Okay, so I'm going to do a decrease of 2 stitches. This is how the pattern of the 4th round starts. Then I'm going to continue at the sleeve panel with 30 stitches. And once the 30 stitches of the sleeve are finished, I'm going to continue with another decrease of 2 stitches, which is the last stitch of the sleeve, the center stitch, and the first stitch of the bodice panel. So I'm going to take out the marker of the center stitch. I'm going to insert the hook at the last stitch of the sleeve, pull through one loop, insert the hook at the center stitch, trying to grab all the stitches that are there, insert the hook and pull through, then again insert the hook at the first stitch of the bodice, yarn over, pull through, and again yarn over and pull through all 4 stitches. And I'm gonna put the marker over here, and this is my center stitch where I decreased 2 stitches. So now I'm going to have to continue the panel like this. So here now I am crocheting the bodice panel, which will continue with 44 stitches, another decrease of 2 stitches over here. Then we're gonna crochet here at the sleeve panel 29 stitches. Then we're gonna do one decrease, another decrease of 2 stitches here at the center. Then we're gonna continue with 44 stitches right here at the other side of the bodice panel. And this is the pattern for the 4th round of the yoke. In total, we're gonna have 151 stitches. And here is the end of round 4, and now we're gonna start the pattern for the 5th round of the yoke, and this is the last round with the red color because it's the 4th round with red. So the pattern for the 5th round is going to be 2 decreases over here. It starts with 2 decreases, then we're going to crochet 28 stitches for the sleeve, a second decrease over here of 2 stitches between the sleeve and the bodice panel, and then we're going to crochet 42 stitches for the bodice at the back, then a third decrease of 2 stitches, then we're going to crochet 27 stitches for the sleeve, then another last and 4th decrease of 2 stitches here between the second sleeve and the other side of the bodice, and then at the end we're going to crochet another 42 stitches here. So this is the pattern for the 5th round, and then at the 6th round we are going to change also the color to white. So let's continue crocheting the 5th round, and I will meet you at the end of the 5th round. Okay, you guys, so here we are. I finished also the 5th round with red, and another thing that I did not mention, the last stitch of the 5th round we are going to close with the white color, because from now on we are going to crochet with white and until the end of the yoke. Okay, so from the 6th round of the yoke and on we are working with the white color. So if you want, you can just go ahead, cut the red yarn, but I'm just going to leave it for now because I don't want the yarn to escape. So I am going to start the pattern for the 6th round, and the pattern for the 6th round, it is going to be 2 decreases. We're starting with 2 decreases, then we're going to crochet 26 stitches for the sleeve, the second 2 decreases over here, then 40 stitches for the bodice panel, the third decrease of 2 stitches, then 25 stitches for the sleeve, then the fourth decrease of 2 stitches over here, and then at the end another 40 stitches for the bodice. In total we're gonna have 135 stitches. So this is the pattern for the 6th round, and I'm going to leave for you the pattern. So now, by now, you already know how this pattern works. So I am not going to continue and give you the pattern row by row, round by round anymore, but I'm just going to leave it for you here until the end of the yoke. Okay, so I'm going to continue crocheting from the 6th round and on all the rounds with white, and I'm going to leave for you the pattern because I think by now you already understand how the yoke works, the pattern for the yoke works. Okay, so I will see you once the pattern it is done and the whole panels are connected together. Okay, you guys, so here we are. I did finish the whole yoke. Then now what I'm gonna do to finish up the yoke in a more neat way, I actually have to go. I will do also one last decrease over here, and also I am going to do one more stitch on the sleeve. So then I am going to cut the yarn, because I feel if I cut it from here, I don't know, I don't want to cut it here where we have the decrease. So I'm gonna do one more decrease. So I'm gonna insert the hook at the last stitch of the bodice, yarn over, pull through, insert the hook at the center stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then again insert the hook also to the last, to the first one of the stitches, to the first stitch of the sleeve, and then yarn over and pull all through all these 4 loops that we have on the hook. And the last one, I'm going to do one more stitch after that, and from here I will just do one chain and I am going to cut the yarn. So here we are finished. I can take out all the markers. Now I am going to start to do the ribbing here for the neck, and then I'm going to do the ribbing for the cuffs over here for the sleeves, and then the end also I'm going to do the ribbing for the bottom of this of the sweater. So for the ribbings we're going to use another hook, a 5.5 millimeter hook. So I'm going to insert the hook at one of the stitches here. Then I am going to yarn over and pull through and leave the end over here. I will try to tangle it a little bit, but also keep it in with my fingers so it will not escape. And I'm going to crochet 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to skip the first chain and I'm going to insert the hook on the second chain from the hook, and I'm going to do 1 slip stitch. Then I'm going to do the same. I would put a marker over here so I will not I will find the stitch. So this is the first stitch. So I'm going to do again, I insert the hook on the next chain stitch and again slip stitch, and I'm just going to do that until the end. In total, when I arrive at the end, I'm going to have 4 slip stitches. Then I will insert the hook at the next stitch. So I started here, and then the next one is over here. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, and again slip stitch. And now I'm going to turn my work because I'm going to work on this direction. So I am going to skip the slip stitch that I did, and I'm going to insert at the back loop of the second stitch, and again 1 slip stitch. So this is the first stitch. Again, insert the hook on the back loop of the next stitch and slip stitch, and the next stitch as well, and just work a slip stitch in the back loop. I will take out the marker from here. I'm going to use it when I turn. So I went this way, 4 slip stitches, again 1 chain. I'm going to turn my work now, and I'm going to work towards the panels direction. I'm going to skip the chain that I crocheted. I'm going to insert the hook at the back loop of the next stitch after the chain, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. Again, I'm going to put the marker so I will not mistake when I come back. So I will find the stitch easily. So again, on the next stitch, back loop, insert the hook at the back loop, and then slip stitch, crochet until you have 4 in total. 3 and 4. The 4th one is a little bit tricky to find, but... And I'm just going to repeat the same thing. I will insert the hook at the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and slip stitch, and I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to skip the stitch that I did and crochet in the back loop 4 slip stitches to the end. Again, 1 chain, and then I will turn this way. So I am going to continue crocheting 4 slip stitches forth and back, always inserting the hook to the next stitch, and I will continue all around until I come back at the stitch that is here. So here I started, so I will crochet this one as well, and then here I will stop. Just repeat this pattern over and over again. Okay, guys, so here it is. I went all around, as you can see, for the neck part, and at the end I finished also the ribbing with the slip stitch, of course, at the last stitch. Then I am going to leave some yarn, and I'm going to cut. And this yarn I'm going to use to sew these 2 together. So I'm going to sew from the inside, nothing fancy, just very simple sewing of these 2 sides. And then the neck, it is finished. The neck ribbing, it is finished. And the same way that I did the neck ribbing, I'm going to do also the cuffs for the sleeves. The only thing is that for the cuffs I am going to crochet not 5 chain stitches as I started over here, but 16, and 1 stitch I'm going to use for the turning. So I'm going to work forth and back 15 stitches for the cuffs. So this is the amount of chain stitches that I'm going to start the ribbing of the cuffs. So in total 15 for my size. And then for the bottom I am going to start with 6 chain stitches. 1 stitch is going to be used, 1 chain is going to be used for the turning. So I'm going to work forth and back with the slip stitch ribbing, always in the back loop, only 5 stitches. So here at the neck I worked 4 stitches. I started with 5 chains and I worked 4. Here at the bottom I will start with 6 chain stitches and I'm going to work 5 forth and back with the slip stitch ribbing. And here at the cuffs I'm going to start with 16 chains and I'm going to work forth and back 15. So this is the amount that you are going to need for the rest of the ribbings. And of course, once you finish, you're gonna have to do the sewing same as I did, because once you start here, you're gonna go around and then you're gonna have the part here that you need to sew, and the same also in the back. So yeah, my darlings, this is the pattern. So let me show you how this pattern turned out.